been a minute, huh? Since the last time I sat in this chair. So, what brings me back to this chair? Well, today I'm going to keep it 100% authentic, nothing held back, all truth, all go. And yeah, let's just let it flow. Let's just let it rock and roll, baby. So, okay. I was recently talking to a great friend of mine, dear friend of mine, my brother in spirit, personal growth, my brother in Christ, Mike. He inspired me to make this video, and big shout out to Mike, man. Appreciate you, brother. So who is Aaron? Who is Aaron? So my full name is Aaron Alexander Dumas. Um, Growing up, I was teased because of my last name. Remember, every time in class, I would hate it. I would hate it when the teacher would call out my name. As you can imagine, my last name is Dumas. It could be Dumas, Dumas, or when people would make fun of me, dumbass. Even my closest friends would tease me about that. And so I remember just sitting in class. My teacher would go down alphabetical order, start with the A's, he would start with the B's, then the C's, then I could feel it getting a little closer to my name. And he would say, Aaron, dumbass. And then I would be like, here. And I just hated it. I hated it. Yeah, that was one of my fears as a kid. Being made fun of. I was bullied in middle school to the point where this one time I remember after class I broke down in tears, and then the teacher confronted me, and um, I think it was a one of my female professors at that time, and she asked me if I wanted to report the kid, which was a boy, little boy at that time, if I wanted to report him. And I think at that time I said no, because if he found out, then he would probably pick on me. So I was just afraid of that. But yeah, just a little story about me, one of my fears growing up. And let's see here. I remember as a young Aaron, as a young kid, I was happy, free spirited, and I just loved the center of attention. And then as I got older, I kind of shrank into a ball. If that makes sense. Which I'm sure at least one of you could relate to that. Let's see here. Yeah, and I was alone a lot. The only friends that I had in elementary school were obviously my friends from the classes, and then my friends in baseball. Baseball. I participated in a lot of sports when I was growing up. Baseball. I was part of a swim team, and so that kept me going when um, when I was a kid. So I'm just grateful for my mom. My mom was my champion. She supported me from day one. Always wanted me to do something active, I think one of the things that I discovered that I was really good at when I was a kid was baseball. I like to draw and video games. Who doesn't like video games, right? And yeah, I have one younger brother. He's 3 years younger than me. We play video games together, and yeah, that's what got me through the childhood years. And I remember, just elementary school, middle school. What I would do is get up, like 5:30 in the morning, and get ready for class. Um, I would watch one of my favorite shows as a kid when I was growing up, Sonic the Hedgehog and Bananas in Pajamas. And then I would do that, eat my favorite bowl of cereal, Fruit Loops, or Fruity Pebbles, one of those fruity ones, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I would have those like interchanging, like on freaking rotation, like every freaking day. So that was great. And then I was from school from like maybe 7 to like around, I don't know, 1 or 2 around there. And then I would go to baseball practice after that. Um, yeah, so that was pretty fun. And then let's see here. And yeah, growing up, and my brother, me and my brother, we grew apart. To be honest, we grew apart, and I want to keep it real with you guys. This is a truthful video. Um, so, as you can imagine, when I was a young kid, a young boy, I hormones raging, and then I was exploring like having those thoughts of like sex and porn and oh, what does it feel like to um, to kiss a woman or just to see a human body. So like when I was going through puberty at that time, obviously I got consumed by the devil, vices, porn and jacking off, masturbating, and I got through fucking just a whirlwind of all that stuff. Like I remember, we got our first family computer, a Hewlett Packard, and I would use that computer to look at porn. And I actually printed photos of Playboy models, and I would put them in my Golf Digest to disguise it as it was if you look at the front cover, it was like a Golf Digest, but it was so thick because of I freaking made this like an arts and craft moment where I would print the photos of these Playboy models and put them in the Golf Digest magazine, and like so, it looked like an accordion. It was thick, and I would carry that around the house, and obviously lock myself in the bathroom and start jacking off. So I guess I did that for quite some time, and me and my brother were kids at that time, and so I was like, "Huh, don't have anybody else around. I want to explore how it feels like to have another person, you know, um, jerk me off." So what I did was, middle of the night, me and my brother were getting ready for bed, and yeah, we were young, we were kids, and then me and my brother slept in the same bed. And then what I did was I took his hand and I put his hand on my cock, and I forced him to stroke it. Can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah. So don't know what I was thinking, but I wanted to see how it felt to have someone jerk me off. And then the next moment I realized, I'm thinking like, okay, what does it feel like to to get a blowjob? And so like I remember getting his head and like placing it on top of, you know, my private area, and then like he refused to do it. And then at that moment my mom came in and she's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? You guys are boys." And so we stopped. And so from that moment, I did not notice it at the time, but having these conversations with Mike, my brother, I appreciate you. You're a godsend. At that time, I was being consumed by the devil. Those acts, me looking at porn, it's a vice. That was the devil right there. And that needed to happen, right? Those things needed to happen to propel myself to get closer to God, if that makes sense. We are continuously evolving in life, always. Whether if it's drinking, drugs, porn, lust, everything. Everything we need to go through to experience, to evolve, to get rid of our system, to, to find our purpose, to get closer to God. But anyway, I wanted to be truthful about that. And here we are. Whew. And yeah, that's childhood memory that I just wanted to flush and just get out of my system. I'm just super glad that I told you guys because I'm sure at least one of you could relate. We all have dark secrets, right? We are never none of us is perfect at all whatsoever. If you think there's one person out there you think that is perfect in every way, they're bullshit. If there's a person, never trust a person without a dark side, ever, ever. So yeah, fast forward high school. High school, I went through so many phases in high school. I just wanted to fit in. I was that kid that I wanted to be cool. At that time, I was doing dancing, singing in choir. I freaking dyed my hair like 5,000 colors. I bleached it. I shaved off all my hair. I dyed it red, bleached it blonde, and had a perm, which looked like a freaking rug because it was like kind of folded over instead of like going through my NSYNC days. I don't want to be Justin Timberlake, so it was folding forward instead of back, and it was just floppy, looked like a freaking mop. But yeah, I was at that stage where I wanted to fit in, look cool, and yeah, I was going through a lot of phases, and let's see, that my fears at that time were just being not accepted, not being cool, and just being alone. And on top of that, I had a lot of acne, so that didn't help. I remember in the basketball courts, I was a loner throughout middle school. I ate lunch alone. What I would do was I would eat my lunch and then I would go to the library almost every day alone by myself and do my homework. I was a straight A student in middle school, and high school is when everything fell apart because I just wanted to be cool. And I was teased for being different, not saying anything. I was shy. I was quiet. I was socially awkward. Still am socially awkward, shy at times and quiet. But here I am. I'm a screenwriter. I'm an actor and podcaster, and I'm not afraid to deliver these messages because you know what? Someone needs to hear it. So, um, yeah, yeah. So those are some of my fears. It's just being the odd person out. I still am, and I love it. I do not give a fuck. I mean, like it's like when we're kids, we care so much of what other people think. Like, oh, I was teased literally because I wasn't doing the things the kids were doing. I just isolated myself. I went to the library, did my homework, didn't really talk to anybody. I was shy, I was quiet. And then the only people I connected with was people on my baseball team, which I rarely spoke to anyway. And I would probably say I was one of the best. And that's it. And then I just connected with a few of my other close friends because they lived on the same street as me. And yeah, so fast forward, like high school, I didn't even graduate with my own graduating class in high school. I graduated in 2002. I took summer school. I freaking failed physical ed because I didn't show up, and so I had to take a summer school class. And and then after that, it took me another. Oh my god, I was in and out of community college for the next like 2 to 4 years after graduating high school, and I did not graduate. So from 2002, I graduated 2002. It took me 10 fucking years to actually get a degree from college. 10 years. 10 years of my life. See, ideally, I was supposed to finish school in 4 years. Like the traditional, if everything was going right, my mind wasn't all I wasn't all over the place from 2002 to 2006. I was supposed to be done, and from then on, I was supposed to build my career. But I'm a late bloomer. Everything was written. Everything's part of God's plan. He's never late. He's always on time. So all that happened for a reason. It was part of God's time, and I'm grateful for it. I mean, yeah, if I could go back in time, that's something that I would fix. But you know what? Everything happened and unfolded the way it should be. So that's some of my fears. And then fast forward through when I was in my early 20s, when I was going to community college, I was robbed in my own home. I was getting ready. I literally just got out of the shower, if you can imagine. I just got out of the shower. I had my bathrobe on, and I got robbed. And so, if I had to visually describe it for you, it went like this. I just got out of the shower. It's like the middle of the week. Let's just say like it was a Wednesday, 11 o'clock in the morning. I was getting ready for college, which I lived in Moreno Valley at the time, and here in California. If you guys are from California, Riverside County, 951 represent Moreno Valley. And I commuted from Moreno Valley to Fullerton, which was about an hour. Why did I go to that school? Because I loved the area at that time, the people, the vibe, and it was just a good energy for me at that time. And it was like a good little mini vacay from where I lived, which was like there was nothing to do in Moreno Valley at that time. So I got out of the shower, and then all of a sudden, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell could that be? And so I hurry up and dry my hair and get my shirt on. And then so I creep up. I just go down the stairs very slow, and I get to the door. And then obviously I look through the peephole, and I could see there's two guys. I'm just gonna keep it real. It's two black men. Um, and I was like, okay. And you would stay at the door, like when you check the door, don't answer. You would linger. I'm like, okay, don't open the door, and you kind of fall back. And so what I did was I went to the window, and then I peeked through the blinds to see if there would be any movement, just to see if they would leave. And they didn't leave. And so I was like, huh. So I walked back to the front, and bah! And then the doors whoosh, flight open. And everything happened so quick. I was shocked. I was more shocked than scared. And I think they had guns. They told me to get on, face down on the ground. Um, they asked me if anybody was home, and then obviously I was just like complying. I was like, nobody's home, and then I just complied with them. And at that moment, I just realized to myself that I did not care what happened, if I died or I didn't care what happened at that time. And so basically, they had me lie face down on the ground, and they took the tablecloth from the table, and then they put it over me, and they took a toaster cable and wrapped my hands behind my back, and then so there's two men, and then one of the men stayed with me while the other was going around just taking all the shit, and then the guy up top was telling his associate, he's like, "Yo, kick that motherfucker in the head." And then the guy that was with me told the guy upstairs, he's like, nah, he good, he cooperating, he good. And so thank God he didn't do that. And next thing you know, they said count down from 100 to 0. And that's what I did. And then obviously I didn't count all the way down because it would take a long time. And I got to 50, I got up. I struggled to get up because I was on the ground like this, my hands tied, so I had to roll over a few times. I eventually got up, and I was like, "Hello, hello, is anybody there?" And nobody was there. Didn't hear anybody. Got up, kind of looked around the house. Fuck. And I realized that I was in shock. It didn't hit me until at that time. And said to myself, got robbed. At that time, my dad worked in Marina Del Rey, which is about a 2.5 hour drive back home. So he hauled ass from there, and my mom worked in Loma Linda. Took her about 20 minutes to get home, and yeah, cops showed up, gave a description. My close friends, family showed up. It was crazy, and as you can imagine, at that time, it was very traumatic. It took years of therapy, self work, growth, personal development, books, and yeah, and I could say that obviously I'm fully healed from that. From time to time, I get triggered from people, experiences, but that moment made me who I am today. And I actually used that life experience and I wrote a script from that. Inspired two scripts from that experience, and I wrote a full length feature script last year, which got into the Beverly Hills Film Festival this year as official entry. My first official entry, called The Technician, and I used that experience in the script. So, you guys, every experience is a gift. At that time, yes, it is a trauma, but that trauma is an experience. It is an experience from God because it is your story. It's part of who you are. It's a gift, and we all have gifts. Everything is good. Everything bad is good because all that is serving your greater purpose. And yeah, so that is everything in a nutshell. Um, I'm 41. Let's see, and I lived in LA since 2015. And also, I just wanted to keep it real since I'm telling you this, guys. So, like, okay, I've never told anybody this ever in my entire life except Mike, love you. So when I was on, the come up personal development, growth, I wanted to, I wanted the whole world to know who Aaron was, right? Just go into the acting world, right? It's all about like who you know and how many people know you. So I took a gamble and I guess at the time invested in myself, which I thought was an investment, but it was a fucking joke. I shelled out, clawed out, I think about $4,000 of just like from a years ago. Years ago, it was like, I think it was almost 10 years ago. Damn, 10 years, maybe 8 years ago. I clawed out 4,000 to to grow my social media account, which is about 16,000 followers right now. That is not real. So what I did was this entrepreneur, I paid him the 4,000, and he, I guess what he did was he put the four he put my social media on his campaign, and then I guess he grew the followers, but basically he just it's bought followers. So yeah, those 16K followers are not real. Um, so all that is just fabricated, meaning like they are either robots or just it to you get the picture. Don't have to explain anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to come clean about that and be real. Those are bot followers. I don't want any part of that shit anymore. That's why I'm creating a new account, which is Aaron Dumas .vo, which is volume zero, which means a rebirth. So that is the reason why I started a new account, because I wanted to come clean, be real, and show you the authentic, real me. I'm stepping into the second half of my life. Turned 41 May 13, 1984, 80s baby. Um, yeah, I wanted to come clean about that. So like, yeah, so with this new account, I'm gonna be showing more of just like being real in my thoughts, but you know, all in love. Uh, Documenting my fitness journey, macros, nutrition, mindset, personal growth, getting closer to God, and just showing my love for music. Before acting, I was still am into music. I had first generation iTouch that had gigabytes of like 80s music, 90s R&B, rock, alternative, all that stuff. And so on that iPod Touch, I went snowboarding with a dear friend of mine, close friend of mine, Chris. Love you, bro. We went snowboarding at Mount High. We went on the slopes, and I lost it, and I was crushed. I'm not even joking. I lost like my heart was that I touched. Loved music so much. It helped me get through middle school and high school, and all I do now is just listen to podcasts. So when I reconnect to music, it really moves me as a person, and I'm sure you guys could relate that music does move you too. So it really feels good to connect and emotionally music, because it opens a different dimension within you, and I'll be sharing that more. But anyhow, guys, if you guys listen to until now, you guys are the real deal. You guys are legends. You guys are destined to do something great with your life, because you know what? If you could give me your time, man, I will break through walls for each and every one of you, and you have my word. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you guys for joining me today on this Friday. If you wherever you guys are in the world, um, know that if you listen to each and every minute from beginning to end, you are my personal friend, and I will jump on a plane and meet you wherever you are, because that is what life is all about. Just connecting with people like minded and experiences, and are focused on just the same values, beliefs, and they just want to pursue something great and big in this life. So, love you guys, and welcome to uh, this community, um, which I haven't thought of a name yet. But you know what? We 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 create the community when we come together. So if you whoever sees this video, thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for getting vulnerable with me and allowing me a safe space to share with you. And just know that you are not alone. I'm starting to tear up. You are not alone. Your experiences are your gift to the world, and do not hold on to them. The quicker you could share it and release it, you are far better off. I'm 41, and it took me this long to freaking make this and share this. So, anyhow, to your success, and let's make it a great one and keep thinking big. Love you guys.